Arpaneus et Junius, quae audi erunt, ad legatos deferent. Okay, notice this audi erunt is really audi werunt, but sometimes authors do that. They'll leave out that little syllable, or that consonant. So let's see. Arpaneus et Junius, that's the subject. And then we have this relative clause. The quae, the antecedent, is understood to be the things that we just talked about in chapter 27. So your main sentences here are Arpaneus et Junius, ad legatos deferent, and the things that they brought to the legates. This is your relative clause, which is acting as the direct object of deferent. Okay, moving on. Illi repentina re perturbati, etsi ab haste ea decebantur, tamen non negligenta existimabant, maximique hac re permovebantur, quod civitatem ignobilem atque humilem eburonum sua sponte, populo Romano bellum facere ausum vix erat credendum. Okay, illi, subject, referring to the legatos. They. Repentina, re, there is an ablative noun adjective pair there. Perturbati, of course, is a participle that goes with illi. So those guys having been perturbati by what? By this ablative, because whenever you have a perfect passive participle, you're going to have something ablative to show the action, or who or what is doing the action. Even if, okay, ab haste, again, we've got a prepositional phrase here. Ea is the subject of this passive verb, so once more, you've got something passive, and it's got a prepositional phrase who's doing the action, even if those things were being said ab haste. However, etsi tamen, non negligenta, okay, this is really negligenda esse, because it's an understood indirect statement. Based off of existimabant. However, they were thinking that, here's your indirect statement, that those things should not be neglected. Notice the nd, it has a sense of obligation there. And what else was going on? So here's one verb talking about what the legates were doing, and then here's another verb, 1, 2, permovebantur. Oh, and as we just said twice now, when you have something passive, like this verb, you need an ablative to show the action, to show who or what is responsible for the action. Maximique is just an adverb modifying permovebantur. Okay, and then quod, this is a because, not a which. Why were they so disturbed? Because, where does this clause end? Oh, it goes all the way down to here. Because, oh, we've got an accusative, civitatem ignobilem, that's a noun adjective pair. And actually, ignobilem and humilem over here both modify the civitatem. So we've got this thing, this is a little chunk here, modifying that. What kind of state? A scrawny and not very powerful state, but it's in the accusative. We don't know why yet, so you have to hold that in your head. Oh, the name of the state, of course, is the Eburones. Ablative here, of their own accord. Okay, Populo Romano obviously goes together. Bellum facere, wage war, but we're still, are we in some sort of accusative infinitive construction? Because we have an accusative with civitatem, to wage war. Oh, and then here it is, our main verb, ausum. Okay, so, because ausum, that is from audeo, audere, which means to dare, because a scrawny and ignoble state dared to do what? It takes a complementary infinitive, dared to wage war against the Roman people. Oh, here it is. It scarcely could be believed. That explains why we're in accusative infinitive construction. Because scarcely could it believed that, and then here is your entire indirect statement, all the stuff in green, that a scrawny little state and not very powerful, the Eburones, dared, ausum, to wage war against the Roman people on their own, sua sponte. Okay, moving on to sentence 2. Itaque ad concilium rem deferent, magnaque inter eos existit controversia. Well, this isn't so bad. And so we've got a prepositional phrase. Rem is the direct object of deferent. They defer or bring the matter where ad concilium. And que tells you we have a new clause. And look, magna, probably nominative, but we'll see. Prepositional phrase, among them, extitit, and there's our main verb, and controversia, the subject. So a magna controversia existed inter eos. Okay. So sentence 3 talks about the nature of this controversy. Lucius Aurunculeius compleresque tribuni militum et primorum ordinum centuriones nihil temere agendum neque ex hibernis in usu Caesaris discedendum existimabant. Okay, so these people that we're getting ready to list are probably people inside the winter quarters who have a significant say in matters because of their experience and rank in the Roman military. So this guy, Lucius Aurunculeius, he and, there's the and there, complures tribuni, many tribunes. What kind of tribunes? Tribunes of the soldiers. So that's referring to people of that rank. And who else? The centurions. What kind of centurions? Centurions of the first order. So it's like, the best centurions, I think. What did those guys think? Nihil temere. Watch out for this. This is not an infinitive. Temere is an adverb. But we've got subjects here, Lucius, the tribunes, and the centurions. Nihil is probably an accusative here. So all of those people blank nothing. Oh, agendum. Notice again the nd. Nothing should be done. Neque. And what else do they not think or something? From the winter quarters. In usu. Look at that root. Usu means a command. In usu means the opposite. So like with the, not without a command or with the prohibition of Caesar. Oh, and then we've got another nd, discedendum. So nothing should be done, and neither without the command of Caesar should it be departed, i.e. should they leave. Oh, and then here's your main verb. They were thinking. That's why ndum and discedendum are accusative. So those guys were thinking that they shouldn't do anything rashly, and neither should there be a departure from the winter quarters, which makes sense, I guess, except for the fact that maybe Caesar doesn't know what's going on. We'll continue their statement. Quantas vis magnas etiam copias Germanorum sustenere posse munitis hibernis docebant. Okay, so docebant. Those guys that we just listed above, Lucius Aurunculeius, the tribunes, and the centurions, docebant is like they were teaching or like maybe saying. So we're continuing an indirect statement. They were saying that because it's indirect statement, so we're expecting accusative infinitive. Okay, quantas vis. I love this compound word. Quantas is as great. Vis is you wish. So as big as you like, however big, or however many, my bad. However many and even great troops. So however many and however great the troops are, the troops Germanorum of the Germans, is able to be sustained. Notice that's a passive infinitive. They were saying that however many hordes of screaming Germans are thrown at us, munitis hibernis, look, ablative absolute, with the winter quarters having been fortified, they could handle it. It was able to be sustained. Since the winter quarters were strong and defended, they could handle any sort of, however many and however large troops of Germans, they could handle it. Rem esse testimonio. Oh, look, we have a dative of advantage. The thing was for a testimony, i.e. it was a testimony. This thing proved it. What thing? Quod, because, or that, primum hostium impetum multis ultra vulneribus ilatis fortissime sustinuerent. Okay, what proves their point? Well, primum goes with impetum, the first attack of whom? Of the enemy. We have an ablative absolute here. Furthermore, with many wounds having been inflicted, probably, i.e. many wounds having been inflicted by the Romans on the enemy, fortissime, very bravely, sustenuerent. Oh, well, why do they think that they can hold off? Well, because this thing was evidence. Because they sustained a perfect subjunctive, the first attack of the enemy very bravely. Furthermore, with many wounds having been inflicted on the enemy. And then we're continuing. Another reason why they think that everything's okay. They were not non premi, they were not pressed by what? By this ablative, by the grain situation, re fumentaria. Meanwhile, inter ea, et ex proximis hibernis, et a Caesare conventura subsidia. We are still inside indirect statement. So let's see. Here's prepositional phrase from the nearest winter quarters, and by Caesar conventura, this is really conventura esse, future active infinitive, and subsidia is the subject of your indirect statement. So those guys were saying that help subsidia would come, conventura esse, from where? From the closest winter quarters and from Caesar. So they're saying, don't give up. Just hang out. Everything's going to be okay. We've got food, we've got fortifications, and if we need reinforcements, they will show up too. Post remo, quid esse levius aut turpius quam auctore hoste de summis rebus capere concilium. We're still inside indirect statement, so we've got more accusative infinitives. Finally, furthermore, what is, notice levius at turpius, that's comparative adjective in the neuter. What is more lewis or more rotten than, because a comparative adjective expects a than, you're comparing a couple things. What is worse than, ablative absolute, with an enemy as the instigator? What is worse than to grab a plan, to get an idea, prepositional phrase, about the most important things when your enemy is telling you what to do? Interesting argument. We'll have to see what happens next.